This programme was made with the support of the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland.
We've just been swimming in the 40 foot.
It's very enjoyable and it is refreshing.
The 40 foot is special because of the depth of the water.
When you're down here and you're swimming, everyone is the same in the water. There's no ifs or buts or hows. You see what you get and that's it.
Last couple of years I've done all year round.
You certainly feel awake in the middle of it.
It's a fascinating place.
Even if you don't go for a swim, you can come down and everyone is just in such good form. That's why it's so enlightening.
Wonderful place for swimming and also for a bit of laugh and camaraderie.
We've all walks of life here. You get anything, any brief or any type of job or background you care to mention. You'll get somebody who's an expert in that field.
Now God bless you all, my children.
I'm Paul Wright and welcome to the 6th programme of the 40 Foot Where the Seabathers Go, the series which investigates the rich social and historical lore surrounding the celebrated 40 foot bathing place situated in South County Dublin. Believe it or not, one of Ireland's premier swimming, diving and water polo clubs, Sandycove Swimming Club, was founded at the 40 foot in the early 1880s. With its headquarters at the 40 foot, the club quickly flourished and produced many Irish and Leinster champions in swimming, diving and water polo. Perhaps its most outstanding champion must be Eddie Hearn, who dominated Irish diving for over 3 decades, won the British Open and represented Ireland at several Olympics. To explain further, here's 40 foot folklorist and former Pembroke swimming champion Fred S.B.
Eddie Hearn would have been a very famous. He took part in the Olympic Games in San Francisco, I think it was, and certainly before the war. He came back, he brought back with him the diving board that was used there, and at that time he was a member of the Half Moon Club, and then subsequently he changed to Sandycove. Now, Eddie was a very fine lad. He was a very famous, he's probably one of the most, the best diver that was ever came out of Ireland. He trained people like Billy Morrison and Val Demery and people like that. They were rather excellent divers too, but Eddie would have been the top. And in the 1948 Olympics he went to London with great hopes of bringing back a medal, but I think there was a little bit of political agitation. I'm not quite sure of the details, but there was the North and the South, and whether people would swim under which authority and things like that got involved. And unfortunately after that Eddie came back, but he didn't take part in any of the Olympic Games. It was rather sad because he had the potential of bringing back a gold medal to Ireland in his day.
Wow, a real unsung hero, kind of, whose legacy is lost in the midst of time, very much so.
There is a plaque to him outside Blackrock Baths, and you'd see his name there. He was a well-known character around Blackrock, and he had a betting shop. He was a bookie that by profession, and he would have been very well known, of course, in racing and betting circles then as well.
And while Eddie Hearn was one of the top champions to emerge from Sandycove Swimming Club over the 113 years of the club's existence, during its heyday the club also hosted many top swimming competitions and galas. The 3 major events organised by the club each year were as follows. First, the Pier Race, second, the Christmas Day Swim, and third, the biggest annual club event of all, the celebrated gala held each summer. To explain, here's Peter Pearson, historian and also co-author of the book The 40 Foot, A Monument to Sea Bathing.
Of course, that's something that people perhaps overlook, is the fact that there were annual swimming galas and races. And in fact, if you go down to the 40 foot, there's a large rock there called the Free Rock. And the reason it was called the Free Rock is because if you could get out onto that rock, you could sit and watch the gala for free. You didn't have to pay in to see the event. So yeah, there were all kinds of organised diving competitions, swimming competitions, right since right back to the early 1900s.
Sandycove Swimmers Gala, the 40 foot in the sun, the music and the cheering for all a day of fun. Friendship by the ocean, good health and much good cheer. Gala day at the 40 foot for all to see each year. The glories of the 40 foot way back in times of yore. Sandycove reigns supreme all along that rocky shore. Each summer's annual gala was held for all to see, with many a race, dive and chase in the chilly Irish Sea.
And it was because of the free rock facilities which nature provided in the 40 foot, as well as the lack of modern diving boards, which eventually caused the gala to be relocated from the 40 foot to the Blackrock Baths, situated a few miles downshore. 40 foot folklorist Frank Mullen explains, making particular reference to the Sandycove Swimming Club Galas, which he himself attended in Blackrock in and around the mid-20th century.
Sandycove were a very strong swimming club then, but in the years of our youth, their galas were held in Blackrock Baths, not here, because there's no way of getting any income from holding it in an open space, even though Dalkey Swimming Club held it in Bullock, but then they put tables at the entrance of the pier and took voluntary donations and that sort of stuff, and that's how they worked it.
You wouldn't have had the facilities in Sandycove. They could have dived all right. They were very just flat boards, just big planks laid out, and you could dive, but you didn't have the kind of springboard, international class springboard.
40 foot folklorist Fred S.B.
And also in Blackrock Baths you had the 10 metre diving board platform, which is very, very high. It was over 10 metres, I think, but there was a 10 metre, I think there was a 15 metre board, and this is where they used to do various tricks, driving off on a bike and dressed up and throwing people over the top and all that kind of thing. That added a lot of comedy to it, which was very well received at the time, and people had it was a great time and a great turnout, like some of the water polo matches that we played at that time. There would have been quite a crowd at them to watch them.
And although the Sandycove Galas held at Blackrock from the late 1930s onwards were a resounding success with the general public, Sandycove Swimming Club's minute books show that the galas were nevertheless similarly held in grand style in the 40 foot right up until that pivotal year of 1937. Indeed, L.A.G. Strong in his writings leaves us with a wonderful description of a gala day held at the 40 foot about the year 1910.
It was the afternoon of the 40 foot swimming gala in early August. The 40 foot rocks were thronged with gaily dressed crowds. Ladies and girls treading where ladies and girls were permitted to tread once only in the year. Their unaccustomed voices and laughter rang happily up the steep walls and echoed back from the fat Mortello Tower, above the bathing pool. The rocks outside were black with all the ragamuffins from Kingstown. A few more minutes and the band struck up. The 40 foot committee had every reason to congratulate themselves on the day. It was a glorious afternoon, the sea was calm, and they had a wonderful concourse of swimmers to amuse a record crowd.
Sandycove Swimmers Gala, the 40 foot in the sun, the music and the cheering for all a day of fun. Friendship by the ocean, good health and much good cheer. Gala day at the 40 foot for all to see each year. On Gala Day, a special time when the band struck up to play, and bunting flew by a sea so blue on that fun-filled holiday. Each race was met with cheers galore as the music rang out loud. Those mighty men raced along to the shouts of the watching crowd.
And while the biggest event in the 40 Foot's annual event calendar up until the 1930s was the Summer Gala, nowadays it's the Christmas Day swim in the 40 Foot that makes the headlines. A day when crowds array themselves on the rocks and platforms of the 40 Foot, and when the place takes on the unmistakable air of a cult activity. I attended one recent 40 Foot Christmas Day swim, and here's a wee taste of who I bumped into.
My name is Luke Lawler.
Michael Lawler.
Alan Bourne.
Adam Doyle.
Kenneth Flood.
Shay Lawler.
That's good. A lot of Lawlers here and a lot of good, brave men. Now, men, have you been in the water yourselves, have you?
Yeah.
What's it like?
Nice and warm. No, it's
Lovely.
cold.
Wake you up in the morning, I tell you.
Freezing.
That's freezing. It's freezing. This lad here done this morning.
So in other words, it's a small bit cold maybe on the nippy side.
A little bit.
Now, somebody said to me as well, a little birdie said to me that you're very, very good singers here. Am I right?
Fantastic.
We sang last year.
Fantastic.
Right, are you going to sing a song for us now, are you?
We're gonna sing We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. To you and your king. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
What do you think of that?
Not too bad, not too bad. Now, can you any more songs? Any more songs? One for the road, so to speak.
1, 2, 3. Jingle bell.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open.
My name's Dervla Fallon from Fairhouse.
Now, Dervla, you're a brave soul. Can you just tell our listeners out there where you've been just a short while?
In the Irish Sea there at the 40 Foot.
And what's it like?
Terrible.
Is it that bad, really, is it? I mean, everyone else is telling me it's gorgeous, it's lovely.
I can't even feel my body at the moment, so actually it's better than beforehand. At least I'm numb now.
Right, okay. So you recommend it to all our listeners out there?
I would indeed.
Right, and who's this, your colleague here now?
That's my boyfriend here.
Hi, I'm Stuart. Nice to meet you.
Stuart, where are you from yourself?
Holland.
Right, you're not Irish anyway, so you're doubly brave. I mean, Irish people, okay, we know we're mad anyway, but I mean, Dutch people, you don't have to do this.
Yeah, I felt like I had to take my Irish Christmas all the way.
Well, that's good. Gives a whole new meaning to Christmas, alright, Christmas spirit and getting into the swing of things. I mean, what's the water like for yourself?
It is freezing.
I mean, is that a freezing kind in neon lights up there in capital letters now, or what?
Oh, it definitely is. Like, now it's kind of alright because I'm warming up a bit, but just those seconds in the water, it was freezing.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, folks, okay, you say freezing in a matter of milliseconds, but I mean, this is major Siberian minus cold.
It's not that bad, but it's definitely cold enough to...
You can't even breathe. You can't even breathe when you're in there. It's that cold.
So you recommend it to all our listeners at home anyway?
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm coming back next year.
And what is clear from prior comments is that the modern Christmas Day swim in the 40 Foot is extremely popular. Our mega popular modern day Christmas swim has its historic origins in the 40 Foot's Christmas morning swim race, which was first begun in the 1880s. This was a highly competitive swim race which attracted some of Ireland's top swimmers during its heyday, from the 1880s right up to the 1960s. To explain, here's 40 Foot folklorist Fred Espy, who himself won the race twice, in 1953 and also 1965.
In those days, the Christmas Day swim was more or less confined to probably about 25, 30 people. They would come down on Christmas.
Now the 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah, up to the mid-60s when it started becoming a sort of socially acceptable, and people coming back then for the holidays or for the Christmas break and things from abroad, they'd come down and they'd have a look at Sandycove and they'd beat in the 40 foot, and then it got bigger and bigger, and it's to now there's probably 5,000 people come through on a Christmas morning. A lot of them, people just dive in for the sake of it, but up to about the latter 70s, I think, there was a proper race there, and a race course there and properly handicapped by the Sandycove Swimming Club handicapper, and he would handicap it, and everybody stuck to their times, and there was a proper race went on and a proper finish. That was, as I say, up to about more or less the 70s or thereabouts.
The publication Kingstown Society reported on the Christmas Day swim in 1900, which took place at 8 o'clock in the morning, by saying, allowing that it was dull and threatening with a somewhat rough tide, still with the temperature of the sea at 49 degrees, there was everything to conduce a large entry for the 220 yards handicap, and as the result proved, a record entry of 12 competitors was received for the event. The winner was M.H. Groan, who had been second in this race the previous year and third in 1888.
And although the nature of the modern Christmas Day swim has fundamentally changed since times gone by, nevertheless, enjoyment is the common thread linking each era. I now think it's opportune we return to the shenanigans of the recent Christmas Day swim which I attended.
Sinead, I'm from Farnham.
I'm Anna, I'm from Furhouse.
Now, Sinead and Anna, you're probably doing this for a good cause, am I right? Because you've got two beautiful T-shirts on. Obviously, each one of you has a different T-shirt. But what's the cause you're doing your swimming for?
Well, this year we're doing it for Temple Street Children's Hospital, but we've actually been doing it for the past about 10, 15 years. We do it every Christmas, but we're doing it for a good cause this year.
That's fantastic. And you've actually been doing it for 10 to 15 years every
Christmas.
Every Christmas.
Yeah, and my dad's actually doing it for 35 years. So he's roped us into it now at this stage, and you dread it, but it's so worth it. Like, you really love it, but
it's
you
tradition.
I'm talking to a few very well-dressed people here. I don't know, men, women. First of all, you want to introduce yourself to our listeners, please?
Well, my name is Patrick Corcoran.
Mine's Paul Ketter.
And I'm Owen Ree.
Robbie Bulger. Now, men, can you just try and give our listeners a word picture of how you look at the moment? Because I mean, you're a sight for
what time is this going to be broadcast at?
Now, you remember, this is a family programme.
I think we'll start off here with Patrick. He's a lovely ballerina this morning. He's got a nice little pink leotard and pink tights. Very nice.
And
very tight and a lovely little hat.
And I'm talking to your mum. Are you proud of your son?
I'm very proud of him.
I tell you one thing, he's fantastic now. There's no doubt about it.
He's finally come out. I decided I went for a little the brunette and the black dress just to be different. And my top is a bit. Oh, sorry.
We're all wearing our girlfriend's clothes.
Yeah, but the gas thing about this is that when I saw my wife in this years ago, I thought, cool. But now I'm not so sure.
Well, I tell you one thing, she's looking on with bated breath now at the moment, absolutely. And what about your colleagues there, Your Honour?
This is Shane. Shane is sporting the 1984 white mini skirt with the front pockets and the zipper, but there's another one on the side. He's got a lovely little tank top, but he's decided to set it all off with black under jocks, which see through just lovely. But Owen, I'll let Owen describe himself.
TK Maxx's finest. The tights, the size 14 mini skirt, and size. What size is that?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's a small top.
Size 16, size 8 shoes, and he's size 12 normally. So you can imagine.
Oh yeah.
A lovely hat to set it off there as well. A red.
I shoe that on, so hopefully no one has recognised me.
Well, man, look, that's great. And look, and by the way, are you doing this for charity yourselves?
We give a few quid to Children's Hospital, so we just do it ourselves and for a laugh.
That's fantastic. I mean,
we've been doing it for a few years. Have you seen us before?
No, I've never actually seen it. My first time down.
We were chefs and waiters last year, and the year before we were a wedding party. So next year, see what you get.
And while it's nothing out of the ordinary in our modern times to have grown men dress up in drag and then dive into the frigid Irish Sea, all in the name of charity of course, such behaviour was not as acceptable in times past. Indeed, up to the early part of the 20th century, in most countries throughout the world, including Ireland, bathing was segregated. Similarly, the wearing of proper swimming attire was paramount. As late as the year 1919, the blonde Olympic swimmer Ethel Bray was jailed for swimming nude on a Manhattan beach because she had removed her stockings. Now, around the same time, the type of bathing costume being worn by women in Ireland was slowly undergoing change. The writer L.A.G. Strong recounts in his writings the following incident, involving an early breach of convention by a woman in a diving competition at Vico in 1910. By the way, Vico is situated just a few miles down the road from the 40 Foot.
Ireland is the only place where I remember seeing women bathe in those years, so I do not know if in England they were still wearing amorphous coverings of serge and ticking. Still, I do not think that in England there would have been such a sensation as was caused by the first girl to wear an ordinary university costume in one of the local diving competitions at Vico, County Dublin. I remember my own astonishment and fascination. The girl, bless her, was quite shameless. She did not pull the garment away from her each time she emerged, as no well-brought-up lady failed to do, even though ticking clad. In a dead, shocked silence, she dived 4 times, and won. The announcement of her success was received without a sound, applause being reserved for the winner of the second prize, who, correctly habited, hit the water like an animal consigned to drowning in a sack.
Yes, there's no doubt about it, but Ireland has certainly changed a lot in the last century, from the sack-like bathing attire of bygone times to the skin suit apparel of modern swimmers. But while swimming fashions may change, thankfully there are some things like the 40 Foot, where the pace of life remains more laissez-faire and relaxed. The 40 Foot is a place of public resort open to all, and though its primary purpose is to provide a place to bathe, it's also a favourite spot to spend an hour or two talking with friends, or looking out in Dublin Bay and communing with the sea, wind and sky. 40-footer Martin Miller.
It's one huge bay, it's all part and parcel. It's one of the finest bays in the world. It would equal anything in sight when you look out, especially we're looking out here now. When we're looking at, say for instance, we're looking directly at Howth, you're looking northeasterly. And I love looking at it. And I hope that I would wish that the generations coming to have happy swimming, safe swimming, look after themselves, take advantage of all the work we've done and what we've left for them.
Today's a grey day and we've got the foghorn going a moment ago now, but it's still absolutely beautiful.
40-foot enthusiast Michael Johnson.
The rocks, the ships out on the water, a little shadow of Howth in the distance there. You know, it's a lovely day. Now, another day it might be bright. You'll have the sun coming up over Dalkey Island and the Muglins, and that's a lovely sight, and it warms your heart, and that sort of day. And then you can actually come down when it's raining too, and of course there's no problem raining when it's raining. You can still swim. It's just a wonderful way to start the morning off. And when you go away for a holiday, even to some lovely places, you know, you miss it very seriously.
The natural simplicity of Dublin's 40 Foot. It was discovered by Sandycove bathers over 200 years ago, and people have been flocking to it 365 days of the year ever since. The reasons they come are many. To enjoy the challenge of frigid waters, to swim, to mingle, to chat with friends and acquaintances, to observe nature, or have a laugh or a cup of tea after a body-numbing dip, or perhaps just to enjoy the spectacular view. But more than any other reason, people perhaps come to the 40 Foot because it's a social hub, a place of community where everyone belongs. The 40 Foot represents community values, and when a community values and treasures something like the 40 Foot, it can truly last forever.
On the ocean blue and the tidal swell, each special day is cast forever in remembrance, where magic memories last. The 40 Foot is a place of charm when the tide is still and high. May we linger here and swim a while as the lovely seagulls fly. Come all you bold land lovers and listen to my song. It's only 13 verses, so it won't detain you long. It's all about the 40 Foot, a bathing spot sublime, where many a brave sea bather likes to pass the time. I hereby sing of the 40 Foot, a bathing spot renowned, situate in Sandycove, just south of Dublin town. If you descend her rocky steps alongside Dublin Bay, it's swimmers galore you'll find there every hour of each fine day. In bathing togs all sizes and many colours too, if it's thrills and spills you're after, this is the place for you, where people from all walks of life assemble, I declare, to swim the chilly Irish Sea while others stand and stare. Swimming in the icy brine each waking winter hour, those 40 footers love their time in the cold sea's awesome power. In every sort of nasty climb, hail, wind or snow, you'll catch those tough and hardy types braving the depths below. Just how the place got its name, no one is now quite sure, but legend tells from ancient times that people swam these shores. Yes, down the age above the tide, that high grey rock did tower, inviting all who came along to linger for an hour. But there was a festive time some years way back when that special place and a rocky face held only hardy men, and lovely ladies weren't allowed to show their faces there, to join and swim among the men who dived without a care. Then women's lib got its day and the ladies jumped in too. Men only signs disappeared as they dived into the blue. Joyce immortalised the place, in Ulysses it flows, when Mulligan plunges snot green sea with scrotum tightening woes. Then a man named Carson dived in nude, but the police arrested him, hauled down to Dunleary Court, fined 2 shillings for his swim. I was only larking, and so his story spread. He swam each day and others too, naked, pink and red. And so each summer evening, within the pleasant air, it's a peaceful spot to meditate, so free from toil and care. With Dublin Bay a matchless sight as the ocean gleams below. When summer comes, all make their way, forgetting worry and woe. On the ocean blue and the tidal swell, each special day is cast, forever in remembrance, where magic memories last. The 40 Foot is a place of charm when the tide is still and high. May we linger here and swim a while as the lovely seagulls fly. Sandycove Swimmers Gala, the 40 foot in the sun, the music and the cheering for all a day of fun. Friendship by the ocean, good health and much good cheer. Gala day at the 40 foot for all to see each year. The glories of the 40 foot way back in times of yore. Sandycove reigns supreme all along that rocky shore. Each summer's annual gala was held for all to see, with many a race, dive and chase in the chilly Irish Sea. Sandycove Swimmers Gala, the 40 foot in the sun, the music and the cheering for all a day of fun. Friendship by the ocean, good health and much good cheer. Gala day at the 40 foot for all to see each year. On Gala Day, a special time when the band struck up to play, and bunting flew by a sea so blue on that fun-filled holiday. Each race was met with cheers galore as the music rang out loud. Those mighty men raced along to the shouts of the watching crowd. Sandycove Swimmers Gala, the 40 foot in the sun, the music and the cheering for all a day of fun. Friendship by the ocean, good health and much good cheer. Gala day at the 40 foot for all to see each year. They came to see the fittest men, all legends in their time. Tormey, Shute and Lonergan like torpedoes through the brine. McCluskey, Holmes and Dockerel with his fast and foaming crawl. The last to dive, first to arrive, Bo Dockerel beat them all. Sandycove Swimmers Gala, the 40 foot in the sun, the music and the cheering for all a day of fun. Friendship by the ocean, good health and much good cheer. Gala day at the 40 foot for all to see each year.